Hello, Moon Crew! Today we have a very special video that we've been thinking about for a long time. It's not a speed run, and it's not a run of a new game. Today we're going to be creating a tier list. In celebration of our 250th game played and our 50th subscriber, woohoo! We thought it might be a cool idea to look backwards at some of the arcade games that we played and to rank them on a tier list of speed runability. So this list, it's not going to be like a good or a bad games list. This list is really about whether or not the game is a good game to speedrun. That includes things like, are there good ways to save time? How much randomization is there? And most importantly, is the game actually fun? Because like speedrunning a not fun game is just plain miserable, right? So we're going to be going through the first 25 games that we've run. Otherwise, we're going to be here all day. And the goal is to hopefully point people in the direction of some awesome, fun arcade games to run that they might have never have heard of, and to grow the communities around those games. So if this video seems useful or interesting to you, press that like button. It really helps us out. So let's do this. Let's get into it. I got High Warlord JC here with me, since he's been the unfortunate on the other end of playing most of these games. And we're going to be just kind of free-forming it, just blah, blah, blahing, and talking about every game on the list here. First 25. Here we go.
All right.
So the first game that we ever played, where it all started, is called Brawl Brothers, also known as Rushing Beat Ran. And I think, picked this game specifically because of the name. I was like, brother, I need a brawler. And, like, you were the man on the other end. So, I'm going to pull open some quick videos here. And we'll see about getting, nostalgia rolling. Sick.
Yeah.
All right, so I remember this one. So I watched the video of like the one player record holder, and he was playing this dude who looked like the guy from Mortal Kombat or Gaston or whatever the hell his name is. And he like only did the move where he charged forward and kicked with his big boot, and he put boot to ass.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like
I remember you showing me that.
I knew I had to play that guy when I saw that. And there's not a ton of randomization here, which I liked, but what do you
Yeah.
think? Like, yeah, I remember this. I mean, this is a brawler, right? So,
Yeah, it's all the usual check boxes, it's got your usual moves. It's got the special, like, run kick, jump kick.
I feel like most brawlers, there's a real good potential for speed running if you're like dedicated to learning where the dudes spawn, and like dedicated to learning where the bosses, like their weak spots are.
Yeah, and depending on the game, dedicated to learning which characters and which moves do the most damage.
Right? You
Or
definitely
are
got to
able
do
to, like,
that.
juggle the enemy or bosses, which it tends to be pretty big in these games. Oh, and also which pickups are like one-shot kills and don't run out.
So, getting it started off here, I'm thinking, I don't know, B tier, maybe
Yeah, I
A
think it's like
tier.
B plus, A minus tier. So maybe we'll just fill out the B tier and then eventually push it to A, or just,
Yeah, let's see where
we'll
things
see how
go.
it goes.
Let's see where things go.
It might stay in B, it might not.
All right, so number two, the second game we ever played was called Karate Blazers. Let's get the movie up here. Oh, okay. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, it's the four-player one.
yeah. We played this with Bell Tolls and Clefable.
Yep.
Oh, I remember this. The guy that has the
That
move.
guy's.
The guy had the move Spinny Fucker. The voice line sounded exactly like Spinny Fucker when he did it. And I also
I remember
remember
that.
you can't throw the fat guys. They're like too fat. They like crush you underneath them.
You like pick them up and they like fall down, yeah.
This was a good one. I have good memories here, and I also like that it's 4 player. So if you have like more than one friend, right? Like you gotta get this is definitely an option.
Yeah, there's more, I guess, variety for how many players you can play with. You can play solo with one friend or with 3 friends.
I don't. I. It was a little clunkier though. It was kind of clunky. It was kind of primitive. There wasn't that. At least that's my recollection.
Yeah, I feel like they might have had to cut some corners to get it to be 4 player, but it still hits all the general check boxes. It's got all the moves. It's got a special move, different characters with different special moves, of course. It's
Yes.
probably another solid B
Yeah.
territory game.
Yeah. Let's head back over to the tier list. All right, so Karate Blazers. See, here's the thing. I liked Brawl Brothers more than I liked Karate Blazers, and I thought Brawl Brothers was an all-around more like better speed running game. Like it had less clunk to it. So I feel like maybe we should push Brawl Brothers up into A.
I could see that.
All right, we'll
Definitely worthy of A material to me.
yeah, we'll push it up to A. We'll see what comes up. It might get pushed down. We're
It might end up on
indecisive
the
about
lower
these
end of the
things.
A, but
All
I think it could be an A.
right, let's see here. Next up. Oh boy. Next is Zun Zun Kyo no Yabu. This was a Japanese only game. I was like super excited
Oh,
to
this
find
one.
out about this game, and then I was really bummed because it seemed really cool because it has all these like wonky, crazy sprites. But then I was really bummed because it wound up being like entirely just using the bomb. It's like how many times could you use the bomb to kill the dudes? Except for the boss
Pretty
fights.
much.
I feel like there's a little speedrun ability here. Like when we got to the bosses, right? There was like how much could you bomb and shoot them in between the bombs?
Yeah, it's a little bit about how many guys you can get on the screen at once to use the bomb,
Yeah,
and not using the bombs when there aren't people on the screen. Because I saw, like in that clip right there, there were 2 people, and one of us used the bomb, and then like one of them came off from off screen and was still alive. So,
right. And this is the
but it
game that
definitely
had
is all about the bomb because the normal attack, like it would take several hits to kill a regular person, and the bomb is just 1 hit anyway. So,
right. And like this is the game with the fat Captain America, the crazy fat
yeah.
floating Captain America. So that gets like an automatic +1 point in my mind because I just love that character. I thought it was hilarious. I
This one was
saw,
a lot of fun to play, even if it was just spamming the bomb over and over again. I
yeah,
like the little videos and art and like cutscenes and stuff in between the levels.
yeah. And if you
So
don't
that
notice, like back in this clip here, like let's rewind it here. The like the when you win, the like thing has a little sad face. Like watch on the left here, the boss is like oh my god, you know.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. So it's got class. That's what I'm thinking. It's got class. Not the best speedrunning game. Probably a low skill ceiling. Really bomb reliant. But I'm sure there's a best path forward. But yeah,
Yeah, and unfortunately being I mean, being fun doesn't really help the speed run, but it can make it more enjoyable to speed run. So
yeah. It's
it
like
might not be the greatest in terms of mechanics, but it does get some points back for being fun.
right. I mean, if I got 2 games that are both like equally speedrun intensive, and one of them sucks to run and one of them's fun to run, I know which game's getting rated higher in the category.
Yup.
All right. Let's see here. So I'm thinking C tier.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good C. It's not D material, but I also don't think it's good enough to be a B material game
Yeah, I agree.
in terms of speedrunning or just gameplay.
All right, next up is called Violent Storm. Bring the clips back. All right, Violent Storm. Oh yeah, Boris. I remember Boris.
Oh yeah,
Cow.
one of the rare 3-player games.
Right? We played this one with Clefable. this was awesome. I actually I remember the soundtrack will be the heroes. I thought the soundtrack was absolutely banging. Uh,
Yup.
I thought they
There's a lot I liked about this game.
yeah the sprites are snappy. The combat, there's blood. Like people get
Yep.
hit and it feels good.
It's quick. You can like push people on the map to keep it moving.
Yeah. Oh no, this is definitely like in the upper tier of brawlers. There's weapons, there's cool bosses, there's style. It oozes style. Oh, this was an awesome game.
Yeah, this was
Excellent game.
definitely a lot of both fun and like potential for speedrunning.
All right, so I'm thinking
I
S
don't know.
tier.
Yeah, it might be S tier.
I'm thinking S tier. It might be
It's
our
always
first
seen
S
better
tier.
games to knock it out of S tier. I think it should go there.
Yeah. All right. Next up is
Oh,
gonna
didn't actually skip.
be Bucky
Oh, Bucky
O'Hare.
O'Hare. Oh, like playing game.
No, it wasn't a plane game. We fly around in planes at some point, but like we're like a duck. There's like a Donald Duck looking thing, and we're fighting rabbits. No, we're fighting toads.
Oh yes, this
Yeah,
one.
there's the
Okay, I
duck, the
remember
like the
this one.
four-armed duck.
Yeah, the duck that I don't think we played ever.
No, no, no. We played this one four-player with. Well, we did a two-player run, but we also played four-player with Fable and Bell Tolls. And I remember the duck said some like super racist, like anti-toad
Yeah, there
racist.
were some questionable things that the duck was saying.
Yeah. And I think in the show, because this is actually like based off of a TV show, right? The duck is like has a Scottish accent and basically gets like as close to cursing in a children's show as you can get.
Oh man,
So I
like
also
the
remember,
Scottish guy from Samurai Jack.
yeah. I also remember that the I was playing the robot, and the robot's got this like beam that right there that has like a beam flamethrower that
Yep.
does like a shit ton of damage. It was like the most consistent damage. I thought this one was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Um, I'm
Yep.
thinking S tier. I'm thinking another S tier. Honestly, if I were to get if I you know Violent Storm only had 3 players. If I were to like pick up a fourth player, like this would be on near the top of my list of games I'd want to run with them.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
It's got all the bells and whistles you might want.
It's even got a cool little pose
Opportunity
move
to
at the
skip
end there.
ahead.
Hell yeah. Right. So I'm thinking S tier. And
Yep.
there's actually a
Sure.
community around this one already. So there's like people you actually compete with people instead of just playing by yourself. So that's fun too.
Yeah, that's always nice to have be part of a community rather than just well here's the like drop in the bucket.
Right? Okay, let's see it. Next one. All right, next game was called Asterix. Yeah, this is a really famous cartoon, right? In Europe. Like I've never seen it, but I guess a lot of people's childhoods, like they know those Vikings as Asterix Vikings.
Yeah, it did look pretty familiar, although I'd never actually seen anything like it.
And also, interestingly enough, this game is actually responsible for our channel's very first hater. I knew we'd get them eventually, but as it turns out, somebody felt the need to show up here to this the video on YouTube for this game and tell us that we were too fucking casual and that it's not really speed running unless we learn all the strats and that we suck. So if our hater is out there listening to this right now, hey, fuck you. Anyway,
Oh man,
just wanted to say that. Just
that's
throwing it
pretty
in
funny.
there. But that's
Oh yeah, I'm proud to have a first hater.
yeah, I know. It was always gonna happen, right? So anyway, speedrun ability. I think is really good.
Yeah,
The
this is
like
one of
the
the greater games for speedrunning.
it's fun too. Like on top of that, it's fun. And the like the best in the world speedrun by Hoover, who's like a South Korean dude who just absolutely kicks ass at arcade games. He he got it down like to 23 minutes or so, and his is absolutely incredible. So, I'm not sure if we're gonna ever compete with that run, but if you want to work on two players or having a good time with your brawler, this is definitely up there.
Yeah, this is one of the games that definitely has a high potential for saving time, but it also is accompanied by like a high skill threshold.
All right, hold on a minute. I want to redo this section.
All right.
Probably shouldn't be telling the fans to go fuck themselves.
We can mention the hater in passing.
Oh no, we'll mention it, but I shouldn't be like directly calling him out. We got to be a little more media friendly than that. Here we go. All right, hey, and I think the next game is Asterix, which is actually based, I guess, right on a European cartoon. I don't know. I've never seen it because I'm American, but a bunch of people, I guess, grew up with these as Scandinavian Vikings. I don't know if it's a Norwegian TV show or something like that.
Yeah, this is a great game. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, this was one that had some serious potential for like learning where the sprites were coming in and learning where the bosses were and like how to beat the bosses. Also, interestingly enough, this game is responsible for our channel's very first hater. I knew we were going to pick one up eventually, but this was the video that tilted somebody so hard they felt the need to show up here to tell us that we're too damn casual and we don't learn enough speedrunning strategies and we're just wasting everybody's time. So, I guess well done. I thought
Yeah,
we
I'm proud to have our first hater.
Right? I mean, we beat the record by like 3.5 minutes. So, and a tool assisted run was only like 3 minutes faster. So, I don't know. I felt like we did an okay job, and maybe we'll reapproach it someday. This is a good game. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got special moves. It's got, you know,
Pickups.
pickups, jumps,
It's got male on male
throws.
kissing. Way
Yeah.
ahead of its time. All right. So now the real question: is it an A tier or is it an S tier?
Hmm.
Because I picked Violent Storm and Bucky, but Violent Storm because it was 3 player, Bucky because it was 4 player, but Asterix is only 2 player.
You know, I think it should be S tier because it might bring you your first hater and launch you into professional speedrunning.
Right? Okay. All right. I'm down for that. You never know what's gonna make your haters come out of the woodwork. All right, moving on. We've got
Never, just never know which quality about a game is gonna be what pushes you forward.
right. We got Mazinger Z. So this is like the first bullet hell on the list, and bullet hells like later on became we started playing a hell of a lot of them. There were like a million of them made for the arcade,
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of bullet hells.
this was the very first one, right? So it's like a mech show, I guess, in Japan. The whole Mazinger series, and not just like any mech, like one of the very first mech, like near like close to Ultraman style early.
Wow,
Yeah,
old school,
real old school.
classic.
So, I like it. I liked it. It's got power ups. You can actually, all bullet hells come down to like the bombs and the bosses, right? So this game has power ups for defeating the bosses faster, and it has bombs for like also defeating the bosses faster, but for you run out of bombs and you're supposed to do your blaster and like before you die. So can your blaster be upgraded? Yes. Are there bombs? Yes. Is it kind of
Yep.
cool? Also yes.
There's also like a charge, hold, charge up move, which
Oh
these
yeah.
games you got 3 options. Either holding it does nothing, or it gives you like a really slow, crappier version. It charges it up, or it works like normal and just shoots fast without you having to press multiple times. And this is one of the ones that charges it up, which is one of the better options.
I love charge 'em up games. I think it adds a lot to the, so I like this one. I don't think a bullet hell, it's going to be tough for a bullet hell to rise up into the S tier because the reality is that most bullet hells are on rails, and it comes
Yep.
down to how fast you can spam bombs and how many power-ups you can keep for bosses, right?
Yep.
So
How survivable you can be, or like how many power-ups you bring to the boss, which is one part survivability, one part, I don't know, I guess skill, knowing where the enemies are.
so
Um, I guess maybe A tier.
that's
Because it's
why.
it's one of the better bullet hells out there. But I mm,
See, that's the thing is that I want to. I feel like I should start it off in the B tier because it's gonna take a lot for a bullet hell to rise into the A tier for me. Like, you're gonna have to be. You're not just gonna have to be good
that's
and
somewhat
fun.
fair.
You're gonna have to also have like real potential for being better at the game. And there's
Yeah,
not.
like those ones where the bosses show up multiple times and you can really beat them up like the first time you see them as they like fly across the screen.
Oh yeah.
That's sort of like the skip potential or speed run potential that would I guess bullet hell would need, because this I don't think has that.
No, I don't. I don't remember
So it's
anything
like
like
they're
that.
they're two on rails, I guess, to be in A tier. It's
Yeah.
all right. I'll admit that it's probably B tier, but it's a lot of fun, so it's one of the better
Yeah.
B tier.
Right. Fun B tier. Good bullet hell. All
Yeah,
right.
good mechanically, good speed running wise for a bullet hell.
So next up is Mad Motor.
Mad Motor, what is this one?
Yeah, this was super primitive and ugly back in the day. Oh, boom,
Oh,
boom.
it's the one where we bounced off them. I remember this one.
Yeah, and you can like get underneath the explosions to jump.
You have
Boop,
to
boop,
like
boop, boop,
bounce
boop,
off
boop,
each
boop,
other too, or that can happen too when you
boop.
do like a pinball with an enemy between you.
I remember this. See, I also remember that we're actually werewolves. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Like
yep, that is.
we turn into werewolves, and then our motorcycle. We're also like half man, half motorcycle, right? So the motorcycle transforms into this like killing tread machine.
You're
Ah, man.
like a werewolf version of that like chain motorcycle guy. Can't remember what his name is. It's like
I
the bad rider or the night rider or something.
I wound up speed running this game, like the one player version of this game, after we did two player. And I think Manticore is the moderator. He actually made me a moderator because he's like, "Oh my god, somebody actually played this game." Yeah, this one it's not fun really, and I don't even think it's got a tremendous amount of speed running ability. The question is whether you need to whether it's really on rails or whether it's related to killing the people. And I think it's primarily on rails with some needing to kill people to advance it, which means that
Yes.
it's not the worst, but it's kind of not fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of I don't know if jank's quite the right word.
I think
It's
that's a
just that
good
the
word.
mechanics, fit together in a strange way. It's like
Yeah,
with the bouncing off of each other, it really messes things up sometimes.
yeah,
But I guess that also gives you the ability to get really good at the game and really cut down on the speedrun time.
I don't know. I feel like in the one player, I was just becoming the werewolf as much as possible, and I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. There's nothing more to say, at least from my perspective. Let's chop over here to
Yeah,
the tier list.
it's okay.
So, I'm like waffling between B and C here. So the question is whether like how much potential is there to be better at this game? And I don't feel like there's really a lot. I feel like you're a C tier game.
Yeah, I feel like it might be C tier. I mean, I feel like it is C tier, but it might be B tier if it's not as on rails as it looks.
Yeah,
If
I'll
killing the
concede that.
people actually does move it ahead, which it's not fully clear what moves it ahead sometimes, then it could possibly be B tier. But Since it's unclear, I guess I'm gonna say C tier.
All right. Next up is gonna be Boogie
Boogie
Wings.
Wings.
Boogie Wings, baby. Hell yeah. This one's
Played so
also
many, I forgot a couple of these.
yeah, this one we like you this one I actually super
Oh
like.
yeah, yeah.
I actually really like this one. You can pick stuff up with your hook. You can pick each other up with your hook. There's like different vehicles. Like I remember riding a giraffe and then I jumped my giraffe up and was riding you I was on your hook
Yup,
and I
yup.
was shooting off of my giraffe riding on a hook on a biplane. It was just crazy. This
Yeah,
game
yeah.
this game's also known as the Great Ragtime game or the Great Ragtime Adventure, something like that. But Boogie Wings is a much cooler name.
Agreed. I also like that you like when you get knocked out of your plane or whatever vehicle you're in, you just run along the ground, so it's not
Yeah,
like quite over. So that gives a lot of skill for the speed run capability. Because if if you're getting killed and knocked down a lot, you're not doing a whole lot.
right. And there's like a lot of different vehicles, and I feel like out of almost okay, I just talked about how it's going to be really hard for a bullet hell style game to rise into the A tier, but this is definitely to me an
Yeah,
A
I
tier
think this
game.
might be it.
This is a great game. It's got a crap ton of style. It's
Yup,
got
it's got uniqueness. It
yeah,
does stuff no other game does, bullet hell or otherwise.
yeah, it's great. Definitely snapping over to the tier list. Um,
And
uh,
like just that little bit you saw right before we switched over, the trees were getting shot into the shapes of like little statues or like little hedge clips.
yeah,
There's a lot in that game to make it enjoyable and to give it speed run ability.
yeah. I'm fighting between A and S tier on this. I'm thinking A tier, but maybe bumping it up after I see a few more. But it's
Yeah, I think we'll A for now and we'll see where it falls.
yeah. All right. Let's see who's next. All right.
Blaze on.
No, not Blaze On. This one was called Blazion. Or it was
Blazion,
just
that's
like
right.
Blazion or Xeon, because the Z is capital. And I remember when I was like looking at it, I was like, Blaze On, hell yeah, to Blaze On, Blaze On. And then I like looked at the graphic and the Z was bigger, and I was like, ah, crap. Like it's called Blaze On with a Z. I don't know. It's hop in here. Ooh, this is an ugly one. This I feel like
Oh boy.
this game it I think my comment at the time was like, how could Command send us out here with like so under equipped? Cuz like we're just like these two little dudes fighting, and you can you can get an upgrade, right? But it lasts like a quarter second unless you're like the dopest bullet hell player in all the lands. So you're continually running around at like level 1 basic bitch, ship. Oh, this one was awful.
Yeah, it was just that like the speed was at like 10 times. It felt so fast. You would hit the other side of the screen instantly sometimes. I felt like I hit the
No,
walls
see,
more than anything
here's the
else.
thing. You like watch, you become the mech, right? And the mech kind of sucks, but then bam, you're immediately dead. The mech doesn't even fit between the fucking asteroids.
Yeah, like you gotta be like pixel perfect, but you move so fast, that a single millisecond off and you'll just crash.
Yeah.
So a lot of the game was just crashing.
Oh god. And then there was this continue, but the game was just so bad that I don't think we even wanted to. It just went on and on. Yeah, this game
But
was
yeah,
terrible. This game was terrible. Don't recommend it to anybody.
this was one of the ones where it was painful to finish and you were glad to be done with it.
Yep. And here's the thing. Those type of games are reasonably okay speedrun ability wise, right?
Right.
Because it's like if you're super good, you're like the 1cc crew, then like, you can really speedrun the hell out of this. But if you actually enjoy like playing your games and you don't want it to be an absolute miserable effing experience, this is where we get into that whole like being fun is actually kind of important.
Yeah.
All right.
This
Well,
is where, if you like the game, you can look past it. But otherwise, it's really gonna negatively affect your willingness to speedrun it.
so I want to put it in the D tier. I
Right, yeah.
want it
I
to be
so
down
badly
here.
want to put it in the D tier, but
I think I'm gonna put it here for now. I'm putting
yeah.
it here for now because it was so painfully unfun and so painful just all around. I can't. I mean,
I'm
you
just gonna ignore the speedrun
yeah,
ability and
right, yeah.
say it's D tier.
No, I mean, like, I guess if you really want to, if you really want to flagellate yourself, you might be able to rise into the C tier. But
Right? If you don't absolutely hate it, maybe it's a C tier. But
yep,
for everyone else,
yep. But for
it's D
everyone
tier.
else, D tier. All right, who's next? Explosive Breaker. Okay. Okay. I don't remember. Okay.
Oh,
So here's
I
what I
do remember
remember.
this one.
Here's what I remember about this one. I remember that it was like one of the first games I got added to speedrun.com, and Felipe had like a run ready to go that beat our run. Like he had already played it like 2 years ago, and I didn't realize it at the time. So I was like, "Oh my god, Felipe! Like he just played it to beat us like right away." And so we played it again like a second time, and immediately got like a better run and like took the record back. And then I was like, oh wait, like Felipe's actually like he played thousands of games over the like years, and this is just one of his many from years ago. um so it's definitely got some speed run ability, right? So like we definitely did better. Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
This game was the one that used a very bizarre mishmash of like sprites. Like that's a sprite there. That is like a straight
Yeah.
up digital. It's a digital photograph turned into a sprite. Sorry, sprite's not the right word. Digital photographs. The digital scans, I think, is actually the word they used back in the
Yeah, I
time.
think scans is.
Oh, the punching special move.
Yeah, the power-ups were a lot of fun in
Yeah, the
this game.
power ups were fun. The power ups are fun. The sprites are colorful. It's not boring. That's positive.
Yep. And they're not all the same, which can be detrimental.
Yeah.
Even if some of them suck, it can sometimes be better or feel better just to have different power-ups.
See, here's the thing: this game had like the digital scan thing was new, and they were like, yeah, 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 we're gonna use the hell out of it, you know. And so there's like these random like Apache helicopters show up in outer
Yeah,
space.
in outer
I think there's
space.
like an aircraft carrier later on, and then it turns into this, and you're
Yeah.
like, what the hell is this?
And then it gets like a Cthulhu mind, like a tentacle monster that
Right?
lives inside of it. And it's like, what is going on?
So yeah, it was fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's sort of on rails though, as a lot
Yeah,
of bullet hells are. So I
yeah.
don't know how much better we can give it.
Yeah, I'm thinking, it's in the same vein as Mazinger Z. It is like not
Yeah,
particularly awesome, but
it's
not
not
particularly
bad enough
terrible.
to be below B, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, here we go. What's next? Oh boy,
Oh baby,
Big Karnak. All right.
all my
Oh,
homies love Big Karnak.
all my homies love Big Karnak. Okay, so this game, I don't know whether it's like okay, so speedrun ability is reasonably high. Like you can get better at this. You can get like super pro. I'm sure there's a min max like, pixel perfect jumps and all and like hitting the things back here. But this is the one player run. Uh gotta find a two player run. And I did the one player run after our two player run. Um
Yeah,
this game was fun. I love the
yes.
name. I love the style.
Yeah, I like the artwork, I like the style.
This was
The
the
name is a lot of fun.
Wasn't this the game at the end where we fought each other? Or no, we like competed to stop the boss, and if you lost, your friend got to go fight the boss.
Oh, is that this one?
This is yeah. There's like this thing, right?
Oh yeah, no, that was this one.
I remember this.
This one was tough.
It was
It
tough.
was super hard.
2-player was definitely brutal. But the winner got the Cleopatra, so you know.
Yeah, and gets the weird statues
Yeah,
bowing
right?
while still seating. They're seated.
Oh baby. And there's Big Karnak. That's him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I have to say, I'm not sure, like, if Big Karnak is the most speedrunnable. Like, I feel like you could spend time with Big Karnak and get really good and really beat Big Karnak's ass and, like, really, really speedrun the hell out of it.
Right.
I just don't think, I'm not sure it rises into S tier, though.
Yeah, I
Especially
don't.
not 2-player.
It's probably my favorite game on this list, but I still don't think that lets it crack S tier
Yep.
for speedrunability.
Yeah, I think the fact that the 2-player final boss is like an alternate instead of a co-op uh prevents it from getting up here into the S tier.
I mean
And
that kind of makes it speedrunnable as long as you have the skill to do it the first time, but then that
yeah,
means your second player is just sort of sitting there watching. You
right,
know?
exactly, you know. So the whole game is co-op up until that moment, you know, and it just feels kind of bad. And I get why they
Yeah,
did
it
it.
seems like an odd choice, but
Yeah.
it's thematic, so it
Yeah.
fits. It's just, it's
There
not
can
for speedrunning.
there can only be one Big Karnak. Let's be real here. You know?
Absolutely.
All right. Next up. Oh
Gun
boy.
Force
Gun Force. Gun Force 2.
2.
Yeah, not even Gun Force 1. Okay, let's see here. Let's hop in. I don't remember much about this game. Oh,
I don't. Oh, this
hmm.
one.
This
I
was like,
hated this one.
did you really? I
Yeah, because the stupid guys on the motorcycles, uh, were really annoying to aim towards for some reason. That's all I can remember about the game is, but it's really hard to actually aim at them.
I remember a lot of frame lag and it being worse than Metal Slug. It was like it tried to be Metal Slug, but it was worse than Metal
Yeah,
Slug.
it was just kind of like a worse Metal Slug. That's a good way to describe it.
But it's not speedrunning wise though.
Yeah,
It
speed running wise,
it's pretty good. At least I think
I
so.
don't think I have any big negatives for it.
Let's take a look at this boss here real quick. So like this actually had some degree of skill, I think, because there's like
Yeah,
a
because you had to get
gun,
that little vehicle out here and
right?
survive with it.
So like it wasn't bad. It wasn't the greatest game that we wound up playing over the years, but if you like Metal Slug, if you like running guns, this is a good option, I think.
Yeah, and there's definitely some tricks and various things you can
Yeah.
do to get ahead in time. So it's not like just on rails.
Right, and there's like the mech, this cool mechs.
Yeah, those mechs or vehicles, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, all right. I don't
And
remember any more
there's two
about this.
floors, and you have to clear them both, so you can't just sit on one and clear it.
Right? Okay. So this one's a little harder for me.
Yeah, this
What do
one.
you think?
I also don't think this hits S tier.
I agree. I agree. I'm not thinking S tier. I'm thinking A tier because it's
Yeah.
better than these ones in B tier. That's really, it's not like
yeah,
it
yeah, right.
I don't feel like it deserves A tier. I feel like it's better than B tier.
Yeah, it's got more than the ones I see in B tier have going for it.
Yeah, and it's the only I think run and gun on our list here, so yeah, we're going with A tier. All right, next up. Oh yeah. This is
Oh, this one.
Arabian Fight. So there were some super cool like look at this. The cool camera transitions, like the guys entering the screen, I thought was super
Yeah.
cool.
It's like a weird more 3D than most.
Right? And it's a 4-player, which is fun.
Yep, yep.
Um downside of my from what I recall is that it was pretty clunky.
Yeah, it's kind of basic. The as you can see, the ultimates are very long and
Yeah,
take up the entire screen.
right.
It's kind of like if you go to see a concert and various instruments keep doing a solo and like a big screen comes down and covers the whole the whole orchestra just to show you the one soloist.
Don't you love the saxophone?
Yeah, like okay, that's but yeah, that's
But it does
it's
have
got a
some.
lot going on.
It's got a lot going on. It's got cool sprites. I remember like losing where the hell I was frequently. I
Yeah.
remember being confused by the flashing colors. There's like always something flashing.
Yeah, there's a lot of flashing in this game. So it's not suitable for all
Apparently,
audiences or all players.
when I was recording, Epic Games was like, "Hey, you want to buy Madden?" and like, put it over top of the thing. So,
No, I don't want to buy
all
Madden,
right,
thanks.
no, I'm playing Arabian Fight. Don't need Madden. So yeah, the ROM here seemed kind of like jacked up. So overall, it wasn't bad. You know, it was kind of run of the mill beat 'em up. There are better beat 'em ups, less clunky, faster, smoother.
Yep. I did like the cool 3D thing it tried to do, and it was overall fun, but
Yeah,
nothing really special.
yeah.
Um,
I'm feeling like if Brawl Brothers is an A, Arabian Fight deserves to be an A. But what I don't know if that means they both deserve to be B.
right? Yeah, that's
And they should bump.
that is a real
I
possibility.
feel like they need to be bumped down a level. Like everybody needs to move down a little. Uh
I don't know, that's tough.
so here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, go
I'll
for it.
say Arabian Fight in A tier because it's got 3 and 4 player, and Brawl Brothers doesn't. Brawl Brothers is a 2 player. Arabian Fight is a 3-4 player.
All right, I can see that. There's more. I don't know what they exactly they're called. I guess more types
Uh,
of speedruns.
On the other
You've got
hand,
2 player, 3 player, 4 player, single player,
right, different strokes for different
one
folks,
CC.
But on the other hand, I remember Clefable, who we played Arabian Fight with, thought it was effing terrible. So, maybe not,
Mm,
it's like a,
yeah, so for some people, the fun factor might not be there.
yeah,
All right, I guess B,
we have
and
disagreement.
we'll give Brawl Brothers the stink eye later to see if it also hits B.
All right. Settling into B tier with a potential for A tier if we rethink things.
Yeah, I guess we could kick Arabian up if instead of Brawl Brothers down.
Right. Okay, here we go. See, that's the thing is that karate. If Arabian Fights here, I feel like Karate Blazers deserves to go down again.
I
Like,
would kind of also agree with
all
that.
right, Karate Blazers is dropping.
It's the sort of quality where it can't be on the same list as either of those games. So if it's on one of the lists,
Right,
the other game has to
exactly.
move.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Karate Blazers is easily the worst of the three, so dropping Karate Blazers to C tier. All
Yeah.
right, let's see who's next. We've got this is Alien Storm. Oh yeah. We were like there's a robot and a dude and there's like random light gun game section parts. Oh man, we played this with the Fable. Where did we eventually yeah, here we go. This is what I remember. We get into the like
Oh, this one. Holy
yeah, we
shit.
get into the grocery store and then we like absolutely go to town like it's a like a rural Walmart.
I feel like this was rage inducing. From the little I remember about the Walmart image, I just hated it. I hated the Walmarts.
Yeah, I remember being frustrated by the way that the guns work here. They like aimed in a weird. They looked like they were weird, right? So they either aim straight and shoot in like an upward arc, or they aim down and like just zap something that's going along the ground. And I didn't like that because sometimes it just looked very bizarre and
Yeah, it felt like you should hit something you weren't hitting,
yeah,
and it would frustrate you.
this is why they didn't do beat 'em ups with guns because they don't have that like that feedback that feels good.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's unique. I'll give it. I think it's worth a playthrough, just
Didn't have the
because.
rumble packs and controllers yet.
Right? It's
That
like
could have made it.
it's like Alien Ghostbusters. It's got style. You like try to find. It's like Men in Black, but Men
Yeah,
in
it
Black
does
meets
have style. It
Ghostbusters.
is kind of like Men in Black now that you mention it.
Yeah, and there's also a weird robot with a whip. I don't know what's up with that. And it's another one of those weird
Yeah.
3-player games. Oh, I forgot about
Yeah, I
this.
forgot about the run and gun section.
We are going Mach 4. Oh man.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Well,
This
let's
game has some ups and downs.
yeah, this game has some ups and downs. Let's see where we land with it.
Oh no. Where will
All
we
right,
land with it?
so I'm starting off in B, right?
Yep.
And I'm like debating between B and C. But I think B because it's like Karate Blazers is like my bar. It's
Yeah.
like if you're
Yeah, I
not as
think
bad as
B.
Karate
It doesn't really
Blazers.
have anything too wrong with it.
It also doesn't have the greatest speedrun ability. All things aside, the
It is fairly on rails.
yeah, the brawler sections only constitute like 30% of the game, so it's like the other part is way more on rails than your average beat 'em up. Oh man, I'm convincing myself.
Yeah, it's going
Yeah,
down,
well,
down to C.
right, I am convincing myself of
Talking
lowering.
myself down.
Right. Okay. Who's next?
Talk yourself out of B tier.
Right.
What? Oh, Hyperdyne. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sidearms Hyperdyne. This I
I
don't
remember this one.
I remember it, but
This is a weird one.
in like a not very well. I remember that you can get like you can charge up different like power-ups. I remember it's just kind of clunky. I remember the
It was one
sprites
of
are
the
ugly.
rare side-scrolling bullet hells.
Yeah, there's not a tremendous amount of horizontal scrollers. But it followed up after Boogie Wings, and Boogie Wings is like by far the superior horizontal scroller or shooter.
Oh, but for sure. This one, it felt like it was just checking some boxes. And once I had them checked, it didn't bother to do any more than what
Yeah.
was necessary.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good way to put it. Well, let's see the boss fight. Let's see. Okay, so there's there are no bombs, right? So this is really so. Here's the annoying thing: the speedrun ability of this game is actually good because there are no bombs. There's a lot of different power ups. There's a lot of room for skill on the bosses to make sure they die faster and better. So speedrun ability, this game is actually, in my mind, is actually pretty high up right off the bat. It's just a shame that it's not very fun. This is gonna maybe be the first game that I have to give a high speedrun ability rating to that is just not very fun.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Let's hop over. So
Because I did appreciate that you could turn around in the game and shoot backwards.
yeah.
Whereas most bullet hells, you either get an upgrade that can shoot backwards, and sometimes only backwards, or you just get killed by every enemy that comes from behind.
So I don't want to put it in the A tier because it's not fun. But
I don't either, but I also know that it's not going lower than B tier.
exactly. But I also feel like it has more speedrun ability than either Explosive Breaker or Mazinger Z.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to stick to our word and give it a high rating, even though it's
Yep.
not fun, and
Even
give it
though
an
it's
A.
not fun. Yep. Feels bad, but there it is.
Yeah,
All right.
it's like we said, fun is a factor, but it's not everything.
Exactly. All right, here we go. Next up.
Oh man, I remember this
DD
game just because
Crew.
of that guy, the old guy on the right runs funny.
So this is actually the one, and I was looking in our archives. I couldn't actually find my original source file of this game, so I had to pull out like 30 seconds that I had from somewhere. So we don't actually have a full clip, but this game was great. At least I had a lot of fun with it. I remember getting knocked over. It's a 3-player brawler. There aren't too many of those. So that was that puts it in solid territory for me right off the bat. I wish we
Okay.
had
Yeah,
some
it's pretty
more.
decent.
Pull it back here. The sprites are good. They've got some cool animations. The backgrounds are nice.
Yeah, the little popcorn carts,
Yeah,
I
hot
think are
chicks.
interactable. Maybe I'm incorrect.
Not this
This was a
popcorn.
pretty good game, if I recall.
The merry-go-round. Yeah. Right. Well, unfortunately, I don't have more footage. Otherwise, we'd probably talk a little bit more about it. But
Yeah.
as it is, I'm putting it up in probably A tier just because it's it's at least as good as Brawl Brothers, which is really I'm starting to look at Brawl Brothers going down to A, but
Yeah, it could be.
or down to B. But I'm comfortable putting it here. It was fun.
It was fun. There's it's not entirely on rails,
This
which
special
is not the
moves.
case for a lot of brawlers and a lot of shooters.
All right, well, let's move on. We're almost there.
Yeah. We might just have to push Brawl Brothers down.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm starting to really think that. Okay, we've got a bullet hell. Okay, P-47 Phantom. The Phantom Fighter. Sorry, P-47 the Phantom Fighter. So there were like two P-47 games. I think the next one's actually coming up here. And from my recollection, this was the better of the P-47 games. That's not to say it's good. At least I don't think so. This was like a bog standard bullet hell before we really knew what bog standard bullet hells were going to be like. Oh, the
Yeah.
bomb. I forgot the bomb. Ooh, I hate. Okay. Straight up, I hate the bomb mechanic in bullet hells. I don't like it.
So
This is
I
not me.
generally I don't like the bomb mechanic in bullet hells because generally it's a different button and you have to press it separately,
Yeah.
and that sucks. But there have been like one or two games we played that had the bomb like, on the same button. Those were by far better than like manual
Yeah, the thing I hate
or
about
separate button.
the bomb, and this isn't even the case for this game, because this game is actually a horizontal bullet hell with bombs, which is
But yeah,
not
you can
very
actually see the
standard.
trajectory.
Right, exactly. It actually feels like you're bombing in this game, but like in the vertical bullet hells, where they sometimes they even want to be helpful and put like allow you to aim. Like if you hold down the bomb, you can aim where the bomb.
Yeah.
I hate it. Like
Yeah.
totally distracting from the point of bullet hells.
Yep. And usually the bomb is dropped like at your feet. So you have to get right
Yeah,
up on the enemy that's shooting at you to
yeah.
even be able to hit it. And it's like, what is
So
what
let's
is
jump
this
ahead and
mechanic?
let's look for a boss here. Oh yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there
yeah.
was I remember there being way more bombing to the boss killing than I ever wanted there to be. And the bosses were like kind of confusing and the sprites like there was no
Yeah, it's not
indication that he was
obvious when you're
taking
hitting him,
right.
yeah.
He was not no damage indicators. Yeah, this was not a particularly good game, fun game to play. This was not a particularly super high skill ceiling bullet hell. Middling, mediocre.
Yep.
Let's take it to the tier list.
Very middling.
So, I'm thinking C tier, maybe even D tier. Definitely C tier. I'm not letting it go
Yeah,
above C.
agreed. It's C tier at best. Uh
I will look at D tier. I will think about you, D tier. As I do the rest of these, I will think about whether you need to be below. Because the sprites were ugly too. I don't know. It wasn't fun. Not a lot of speedrun ability. Just kind of
kind of basic.
yeah, basic exactly. Okay, next.
Yeah.
All right, we got Charlie Ninja. Charlie Ninja.
Oh, this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't remember too much about this one. Oh,
It's the one in the western town where all we basically did is run away.
yeah. Well, we're
So
ninjas.
it's
Ninjas didn't fight when they didn't have to. Yeah. This was the first time I think we played a game where we significantly improved the score just by running right.
Yeah, it's kind of randomness because it really is all about whether or not you hit any enemies or you get damaged.
So,
But
yeah,
at the same time, some of the obstacles almost need you to get damaged to get through them easier.
right. And there's definite like look how much shit is going on the screen here.
Yeah,
Like
there's
you think
so much
like
going
you
on.
think you're going to come up with like the path through, like you're not. You're going to have to do your best, right? So I think there's a lot of speed and there are boss fights. There's a lot of speed run ability here. A lot of room for improvement on what we did, over the score that was there and the score that we laid down. I think this is good. I had fun. I not only did I have fun with
Yeah.
it, but I think that it's quick. I think this whole game was only like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that, and you can make a lot of runs and
Yup.
work it. It's
I
good.
think the randomness would keep it out of S tier, but I'm not convinced.
Well, let's take it over the tier list and have a discussion. So we're starting off, I think we agreed in A tier, at least,
Yeah.
because it's definitely. So this is the first game that we played that had like the run right mechanic and dodge, like platformer with boss fights.
Yup. We played a
I
few
guess
since,
I guess
but
Karnak was technically at one of those as well, but not as much mobility in the Karnak game.
yeah.
Um, all right, I can see it not going up to S tier. I think it's a solid A tier. It's quick. I like that it's quick.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that's gonna knock Brawl Brothers down because
Uh-oh.
Brawl
Yep.
Brothers is not as good as that game.
Yep. I think you're right. I think we've been slowly building up to it with the
Yeah,
line
there's
of
too many
A's.
games with it that are like that's better, that's better. That wait, they're all better.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
ah,
Bummer. Okay. Who's next? The other P47 game. Oh, maybe this was the better one. This one definitely looks better. It's actually got
yeah,
people and some like different abilities. Okay, all right. Yeah, oh, this one was way better. It's still
yeah.
got that stupid bomb mechanic, but it
And
also has
the
real
sprites are
bombs.
a little much.
Yeah, and there's a
Or the
lot.
animation sprites,
Yeah, oh, like you
like
want to
that.
like that exactly. Like what was the
Just fill
point
the
of
whole
that?
screen with random flashing, changing sprites.
I think that's like the big bomb though, like when we
It
hit our
is, yeah. I
special
think it's the
bomb, but
bomb, not the.
booey. But hey, at least you're better than the other P47 game. Let's find a boss here. How's the boss? Okay, that's right. There's like major enemies, a bunch of Giga.
Giga is approaching.
The backgrounds were nice.
Giga
Look at
H.
this background here. This is a slick looking
That's a pretty
background.
sweet background, yeah.
Yeah.
It's mobile. You know,
And
one of the things that came up
it's
in the
got this
later years.
targeting ability, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, this was fun. There was definite speedrun ability here. And it's a fun game. And it doesn't look like crap like the other P47 game. Yeah. Big props.
Yeah, looks much better. Plays much better.
Is much
Better
better.
all around.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see where it lands. All right, so where are you going to land? So the other P47 was C tier, which I kind of want to drop it down to D tier now. No, I'm like, oh, you don't, I'm not
Yeah,
sure you belong
in
here.
comparison, it definitely might need to go down, but I think this might also need to go up.
Yeah, I think so. I think P47 Aces is probably a B tier. It's
You know, their first game wasn't great, but they definitely learned from their mistakes.
right. It's not as good as Boogie Wings, but it's not as bad as the other P47, and it's about on par with Explosive Breaker and Amazing Z. Yeah, that tracks. Feels good.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Okay, here we go. Let's see what's next. Blackheart.
Is this one of those vampire like
So I
Castlevania type games?
no, it has this weird story where there's like a woman involved, but she's a dragon, and we ride dragons. Yeah, or it's not a woman. I don't actually
Oh,
remember what.
this one.
I don't know what the hell the
Oh,
deal was. They don't really explain things, right?
yeah, this one was weird, but fun.
So we played a lot of horizontal bullet hells around this time, which I find kind of interesting. This is the only one I think we played that was like a fantasy oriented one, which I liked. You know, it wasn't like sci-fi lasers and shit. It was
Yeah, it wasn't like Gundams or
right.
Apache helicopters. It was like cool little forest with a random flying fish in the background.
Yeah.
Don't think I'd missed that while you're skipping ahead. What the hell is this thing?
This is a boss, I think. It was like
Yeah, I
they
think that
brought
was a
out the
boss. This is
ramming
cool.
party,
It was
baby.
like 4 elephants carrying the elephant ram. 3 elephants.
Yep.
Oh, I guess they're like minotaurs.
So I don't know how good it was in terms of speedrun ability, though. It doesn't have bombs, so it really comes down to let's see what the ending looked like. You know, like we were doing a lot of fire move. Okay.
Yeah, because you can pick up the little sprite upgrades
Right.
that upgrade your
Yeah.
stuff. So it's a lot about surviving and keeping your upgrades and being able to
Oh,
use them on the boss. Because having no upgrades on the boss makes it take
right.
forever.
You're having your weird little fairies. Okay, yeah. So not bad. And it was better than completely average. Um,
Yep.
but not like the highest skill ceiling ever in the world.
No, there's not a whole lot you can do except for, keep your fairies
You know,
basically.
keep your fairies and trawl on them.
Yep.
All right, well, Blackheart. Let's see here.
I don't know.
Let's see. I'm thinking probably B tier, maybe C tier.
Yeah, I don't really feel like putting it in B tier, but I'm not sure it fits with the C tiers.
Right? It's like exactly. It's it's a tough one here. This is one of the harder ones we've had to do so far because
Yeah.
it's not as good as most of these other on B tier, but it's not as bad as most of these other ones on C tier. I'm gonna have to leave it in C tier for now.
Yeah.
I just don't. I didn't think it was that great.
Maybe put it at the top of the C list.
Yeah, maybe it's like yeah, maybe. All right, well, we'll come back maybe if it needs to adjust. No, this one was vapor trails. That's
Oh,
what it
Vapor
is.
Trails, that's right.
Vapor trails. This one actually had a little story. Hyper offense formation. Okay, so what I remember about this was that it was actually really good for 1989. Like we played a lot of games that were really much worse that came out later than this one. But
True.
I
It
don't.
definitely felt like there were some cash grabs that came after
Yeah,
some of the older games.
for sure. I liked that there were multiple ships. Um, I don't
Yep.
recall there being bombs though, so I think that this one's actually got a decent speed run ability. You know
Yeah,
that
there
you've
are
got this
power-ups though.
right. You've
So
got this
that's always
bar,
nice.
or you got this bar that charges up that you can use to like detonate. Roll okay. I see it goes roll okay, and then oh no, that lets you dodge. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, oh
definitely.
yeah, there's a
Skills.
dodge that didn't get
Yeah.
used too much.
Oh, I remember. Then they bring out these men to die. They're like, "Hey, launch them."
Yeah.
Ah, good times. All right. Well, it. Here's the thing. Not the greatest bullet hell ever made,
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
but good for its time, decent speedrun ability, and reasonably fun. That's my argument. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. I like those arguments. I'm not sure how far that gets it.
Right? Well, I'll tell you, it gets it right up into C tier to start with.
Yep.
And then we argue about whether or not it's a B tier game or an A tier game. I feel like it's a B tier.
Yeah.
I feel like the lack
I
of
definitely
bomb.
don't feel like it's A tier.
It's not A tier. I'm thinking B tier. I'm thinking B tier.
Yeah. And then I feel like the other game is in the right place, Blackheart.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, next up.
Yeah. Alligator.
Alligator.
That's not
No,
ringing any
this
bells
one's
yet.
this one is it's called Alligator Hunt. Yeah, Alligator Hunt. So we're like two kids, right?
Oh.
And we're on skateboards.
Born to Kill.
Yeah, born to kill, baby. and we like target around, and I feel like it's almost the entire game is on rails. Like that was
Yeah,
my,
this is super rails.
it's super raily, but it's also really kind of cool looking, and I like the style. If I were gonna play a game with my kid, I was like, hey kid, let's like work on speedrunning a game together. I would consider bringing this game up. I'd be like, hey kid, you want to play Alligator Hunt? Come on, it's easy. It's like not, there's no blood, there's no like horrible things happening. It's just two dudes on skateboards. Let's see a boss here. I want to see a boss. Oh yeah, we get outside. And there's like a certain amount of, oh yeah, we get in the fighter jets. Yeah, okay. So there is some speedrun ability in terms of like you got to actually hit the right things at the right times.
Yeah, for sure. The rails part are very on rails, but there are spots that you can clear up or where skill matters because you do have to kill the enemies to progress. But in between it's pretty on rails.
Huh. I remember they like just came forward to die, the alligator people. Why did we kill all these alligators? That I don't remember. Anyway, let's hop over to the tier list.
It's just like the anti-frog duck
Oh
and our
yeah, Bucky.
anti-alligator children.
Right, Bucky. So speedrun ability, I'm thinking B or C tier because it's
Yeah, I don't think
mostly
it
on
gets above
rails.
C because it's so on rails for most of it.
It's fun and it's
It's
got
not all on rails,
style.
but it's got a lot of rails.
Yeah, it's fun and it's got style and it would be good to play with a kid, but it's not. It doesn't have much speedrun ability.
Yeah, it is a fun game. Just not the greatest to speedrun.
Okay, next up. Next up was Arbalester. No, it's like Arbalester. Arbalester. Oh,
Name's
Arbalester.
not ringing a bell.
Yeah, 1989. So we were just talking about how like the other game was ahead of its times for 1989. Well, this is one of those games that was not ahead of its time. And then in 1989 was like ugly. It was ugly even then. What do you think? You have any recollections about this game?
Oh, now that I see them shooting those bullets, yeah. I I kind of like this game. Even though I remember earlier complaining about games that drop bombs at your feet. Um, I did actually enjoy this game because if I recall correctly, you could hold down the button rather than having to spam the bomb button over and over again, which really tires your fingers out. So I didn't mind it compared to the other ones.
See, the thing I didn't like about this game is that if I think it's a loop game. Like, in that it doesn't have like a defined end, you just kind of come back around to the start.
Right.
And it's ugly. I'm sorry, I just think it's ugly. And it doesn't have like let's forward to a boss. Let's find a boss here. See, there's like no boss there. They just kind of landed the ship. Show me a boss. Come on. Yeah, this game didn't really have bosses. It just like went on and on. This is a I don't know. Here's a there was
Yeah, that might have
something.
been one.
That might have been one. Let's see if we can zoom in on him. No, we can't. Oh, here he is.
Oh, there we go.
Nope, just flying
Not
over him.
not much going on,
Yeah, no,
huh?
yeah, this is definitely all right. We're cutting to the tier list. This one here,
Wow.
yeah, this one here, I'm starting off in the D tier, and if you want to argue with me to C tier, I might see it, but I really think that out of all the
Yeah,
games on this list, this was my least favorite.
I can't say I saw anything or remember anything to make me think that it should be out of the D tier. Um, it had the problem that I had, moments earlier lamented about in games with bombs. It's just for whatever reason I don't remember being unfun. So it's fun, but it's bad.
There you have it, real D tier
Apparently, it's also
material,
ugly.
and ugly, and ugly. All right, that brings us to our last one. which is going to
Made
be
it all the way. The Age of Heroes.
Age of Heroes.
Sounds
Silk
familiar.
Road 2. This is a game that I think came out of China. Um, and it had
Oh,
like,
this one.
yeah, it was so they were
A
like
lot of
actually
fun.
they were actually 3D sprites, right? So they're like, this is the first game that wasn't two-dimensional sprites. At least that's my recollection that we played. This one had 3D CGI, even though it's rendered two-dimensionally, but those are 3D models. And
Yep. It had the cool slash annoying thing where weapons would drop, but you only use one weapon type. So if your weapon doesn't drop, you can't pick it up.
yeah, but there's a lot going on, and I feel like there's a lot of room for speedrun ability in terms of
Yeah.
getting random weapon drops and knowing where enemies come from. And let's find a boss here.
Yeah.
Let's.
It doesn't
Oh, there
drop
was
weapons
just.
you don't have. So it won't drop
Yeah.
like a bow and neither of you get the upgrade. It will drop an upgrade for somebody. And I think there is a lot of room for speedrun ability because if you can get all the upgrades, because some of them are in like trash barrels on the side or random pots or stuff. So if you don't break everything, you won't find all the upgrades. But
Right.
it might not be faster to break everything to find all the upgrades.
And there's like a charge up special
Oh
move
yeah, and
that.
the bosses drop a bunch of gear, so like maybe that's a randomness.
Right. And you don't you get to go to the market after? Yeah, you
Yeah, you
can
can
buy
spend your
stuff.
gold on various things that aren't
Yeah.
really that useful, so it might be better just to spam exit.
Yeah. Not sure. All right. Well, I have fond recollections of this game. It took a while. It was like an almost hour long game, but
Yeah,
it was
it was
fun.
it was a long game. It was a lot of fun. It's got a lot of style. It's got a lot of speedrun ability. Game definitely has a lot going for it.
Right. Well, with material
That
like
might
that,
be yeah, our final and fourth yes tier. Changing our
yeah.
perfectly balanced and even tier list to be slightly better towards this.
All right. So
It's a
there we have
pretty,
it.
evenly balanced tier list, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a lot
So
of A, B, and C tier. There's a couple bad ones and a couple of good ones.
yeah, I feel like we were pretty fair with the games. The things that are in the tiers, by and large, I think stack up pretty evenly with the things that they're in the tier with. You know, um,
Yeah, and they're better than the ones below them and worse than the ones above them, pretty by and far. Or, you know, for the most part.
All right, well, this video's bordering on almost an hour and a half now, so I think we should probably wrap it up. But thank you, Moon Crew, if you stuck around this far and you're still watching. Really, really appreciate you guys coming with us for the journey. We got 3,000 some arcade games to play out of the main project. We're only, God, not even 10% of the way there. There'll be plenty more of these tier videos for the next 25, all the way up to 3,000. So if you are looking to join a community that loves what they do, loves the old arcade, loves the nostalgia, the way that things used to be, and the just the sort of old vibes, then come join any of these speedrunning communities because they would all love to have you.
Yeah, and if we missed anything or you think we got something wrong, feel free to let us know in the comments.
Yeah, if you disagree, if you're like the biggest Arbalester fan out there, you're like, how could they ever put Arbalester in D tier? Like, I want to hear about it. You can't stand the fact that I'm a casual speedrunner playing Asterix. Leave me some hate down in the comments, you know. But let me know what you think, and
Yeah.
we'll catch you next time for games 26 through 50.
Yeah, we'll do more tier lists.
Hell
Keep it
yeah!
exciting. Until next time, Moon Crew.
Peace.
Peace.